Okay, good morning, everybody. I have the lovely Karina Brook here with me, and today we are going to chat all about Karina, what she does in the world, and also why she said yes to becoming an author inside of Phoenix Rising, which is the current multi-author book project we have going under Four Eagles Publishing. So welcome, Karina.
Thank you.
Lovely to have you. I'm just going to give you a little bit of an introduction to all of our listeners here. So Karina offers genuine support for women who desire to reclaim their passion and unearth the goddess within. She is a spiritual and tantric alchemist with a wealth of experience as a teacher, as well as my goodness, can't talk this morning, as well as a facilitator in the health and wellness sphere. So her work is based on accessing the childlike ways of seeing the world with wonder, passion, and joy, embedded in the philosophy that you can create anything you desire. What a beautiful gift, Karina. Can you tell us a little bit more about you and your business?
Yeah, definitely. Look, as in my bio, I'm really passionate about, bringing women back into that place of pleasure and that place of joy and that place of being present, in everything they do and witnessing all the beauty that lives within them as well as that surrounds them in every moment. So I've got some beautiful programs that I offer and leading into developing a mystery school for women to have a container to be held in and supported in to really connect back to that goddess energy and the moon cycles and all those beautiful rites of passages of being a woman that are all within us all and so there to be explored and nourished and cherished. So I've had 20 years of being a preschool teacher, and that like being with children is you see them in their wonder, you see them in their magic, you see them in their excitement and just their pure, curiosity about the world, and they're unapologetic and they're expressed and they're always, flowing through everything and laughing and feeling everything and at that deeper level. And, I really have such a beautiful gift in my experience working with them in, taking that into my business, because it's such a correlation, it's such a transfer of, getting us as adults to come back into that energy. So, yeah.
Beautiful. What a wonderful gift. Children are the best teachers, honestly. I think we just forget as we get older and older, we forget to stay in touch with those kind of innate innocence and knowing and self-groundedness, I guess. And it's just such a beautiful gift to be able to teach that and give it back. So thank you for the work that you do. And I'm excited to hear more about your mystery school and see how that develops. Now, let's talk about Phoenix Rising. So for those of you who are listening who may not know what Phoenix Rising is, it's, like I mentioned, the multi-author book project that my publishing company has going on at the moment, and Karina is one of our beautiful authors. What it is it's a collection of inspirational stories from women in business who have experienced a challenging event or a series of challenging events in their lives that have caused them to kind of reevaluate and question, what they may have been doing up until that point, or what society has taught them, or what they've learned, or who they're being in the world. And they've gone into this place and they're going to share their challenges, they're going to share their experiences, and they're going to share their wisdom about how they took this challenge and they learned from it, and then they created amazing businesses or became amazing people as a result of this experience. So are you super excited to be a part of the project, Karina?
Look, I am. As soon as I saw it, it spoke to my heart. It was exactly where I felt with myself on my own journey, and it was just a whole body knowing that this was what I was meant to do, so I'd be part of. So yeah, it's really exciting.
How beautiful. And I'm so excited to have you as a part of the project. So you said that it was a full body knowing. What exactly spoke to you about it? What was it that kind of like pulled you in?
Yeah, look, for me, deep within my heart, I've always felt the pull to write a book and share my story. And I just have this real deep knowing and this feeling that, I am an author. Like inside of me, I am an author, and I have so many wonderful gifts to share through my writing and my wisdom to come forth in that. Yeah, so look, for me, it came up and I was just like, this feels right. You know, the fact that it's, you know, the title of the book as well, you know, I resonate very strongly with that, the phoenix, the eagle as my spirit animal. So
me too.
Yeah, it was really just that, that strong heart pull. And I just knew that it was time, you know, like it was that time for me to step out and, you know, increase my exposure and on a global basis, you know, really be able to have the capacity to reach people on the other side of the world, you know, and in conjunction with as well, I feel for me, it's, you know, I love sisterhood. So being able to do it in that collaborative aspect where you're surrounded by other beautiful souls that, you know, have walked their own journeys, but each one, you know, we're connected with, you know, we're each here to, you know, bring our full selves, you know, into the world and inspire others to do the same and, you know, be the change we want to see in the world. And that's just, you know, beautiful to be alongside of. So,
yeah, absolutely. Now, do you have any, I know that you mentioned, you know, getting exposure on a global basis. Are there any specific like goals that you have for being a part of this project?
Yeah, look, for me, it's twofold. It's inspiring other women, you know, really it's from my heart space is really connecting with other women and by me sharing my, you know, parts of my journey with other women and for them being able to, you know, connect with it and see that there's another way of being, like for people that haven't yet, you know, like become aware of that there's a different way of living life and that there is another possibility. It's really, for me, it's from that heart space, being able to connect with other people that way. Definitely, you know, expanding my business into the next realm as well. You know, bringing in the super aligned clients for me that are wanting to create the big shift in their life. And having, you know, as well, like as I said, that collaboration. So, you know, as part of this, having that network of other beautiful souls that are all around the world, and they
feels like we're in a room, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. But they contribute, you know, their own beautiful gifts to that journey, and just to have that network is so critical, you know, in this beautiful together, raising consciousness, you know, together as one. So
it's one of my most favorite parts of being able to facilitate these things. I mean, you've come to circle with me before. We did the Ride of the Womb together, and I just love bringing women together in circle, in community, in collaboration, because I don't really believe in competition anymore. I used to, because that's what society teaches us, right? But you know, through my experiences and things, it's just such a beautiful community that we're bringing together, and the women inside of this project thus far are just so freaking amazing, and I feel so blessed to facilitate this and have you guys as part of this amazing project. And you mentioned that you want to do you wanted to write a solo book, and the multi-author book project is such a beautiful stepping stone to kind of start you out on that solo book journey, because birthing a solo book can be a big thing. You know, it is going to take a lot of your energy, not necessarily time, because, you know, I do teach ways to fit it into your current schedule, writing a solo book. But it's that beautiful stepping stone, and a much more affordable stepping stone for most women to practice their message, practice writing, practice to even see if they like writing, right? Organizing their message and their structure and their thoughts into a very impactful, intentional message that is going to hit home and is going to hit the hearts of your ideal client. And it also really accelerates that know, like, trust factor when people are being allowed to see behind kind of that like barrier of social media, because we're sharing a little bit more vulnerable parts of ourselves. And I know that the writing process was quite cathartic for you, and when I started writing, it was for me as well. Did you want to speak a little bit about that?
Yeah, look, for me, it really, it's funny actually, because I found when I started writing, I kind of had an idea, and then, so I kind of wrote this first draft, and then I sat with it, like I sat with it for, that day, and I kind of went, like there was something that just didn't feel, it didn't feel quite spot on. And it was funny, I just sort of said to Spirit, what, is this exactly the message that I need to bring forward, through this story that I'm saying? And I had all these beautiful downloads come in, and it was actually really cathartic, because it had brought through new awarenesses for myself that I hadn't accessed previously, that I then adjusted in my story, and it just felt so amazing to be able to share that, and to, I guess, access parts of myself that I'd forgotten about, still in my own journey. Yeah.
It's a beautiful and wonderful healing process. So is there anything else that you wanted to share with our listeners today about the book project, or about you and your business?
Look, I'm just, as you said, with the, this is the start of the book writing process. I really feel excited for that, and that's exactly how I feel. I feel like this is very much a springboard for me. I still feel like I've got my own books, to come through at a later date, but it's only been in the last probably 6 months that I've really accessed my own writing. I was very resistant in the past to even journaling and that sort of thing. So whereas now I just find that, I channel so much writing through, and it's actually turned into a real passion of mine to actually sit down and journal and write and express. And so I really feel that this is just a stepping stone with my, my future in expressive writing and sharing stories.
Yeah, absolutely. I can really relate to that, because before I launched my own publishing house, I wrote under another publishing house so that I could get the experience from a client perspective. And I hate journaling. Like, I understand the value of it, but I just can't get into it. I don't know why. It's still a big block for me. But when I wrote, I'm good at writing. It's something that I've always done, but it's not something that I've been passionate about before, is writing myself. I enjoy facilitating it for other people. But when I went into this process and I birthed this 3,000-word chapter and started this multi-author book project, it was like this energetic unplugging. It was literally like somebody had pulled this block out of me, and I was like, oh, this is how I speak. Oh, this is how I can express, and it's totally safe to do so. And so now there's no stopping me in that kind of expansion. So it wasn't just this, this very logical, I've written a book and it's a strategic marketing tool and all these sorts of things. On an energetic level, for me, it was so expansive. And from what I can hear, it's kind of been a similar sort of process from you. Is that right?
Oh, most definitely. I'm continue, from this process, I continue to be blown away, just to sit down and just free write the words that come through, the words that actually I express, I go, well, I don't even know what that word means, like it's kind of that real deep channeling, and I just find it beautiful, and it's such a profound way of expressing and making meaning, really making meaning and stuff. And yes, I agree, it's definitely opened a whole new realm in my, and I kind of feel, like for me, I had as a child, I didn't hold my pen, I didn't hold my pen properly, and so I had a kindergarten teacher that was constantly on me to change my pencil grip, and I never did. I was very like,
you and me the same. I still don't hold it correctly. I'm like, I'm writing, aren't I? What's the problem?
As a teacher in a school, I'd constantly have people going, but you don't hold your pen properly, that kind of energy. And so all my school reports always said, I was, my handwriting needed to improve, and, like all of those things. And so, I really see why now, like, it's taken so long for me to become comfortable.
My dog just pulled over the light. I'm so sorry.
For me to become comfortable with, like writing and sharing that
Yeah.
creative myself. To do that, like as you said. So
Yeah. Oh, it's such a beautiful, beautiful gift. So I look forward to going through this process with you. And for those of you who are listening or watching this replay back, there are still spots available inside of Phoenix Rising. Okay, there are a few left. So if this project speaks to you, if what we have been saying speaks to you, and you're like, yes, I want in on this magic, then please send me a message and ask your questions. Let's chat about it, because we are still, the container is still open for some more amazing women to join us, and maybe that's you. So thank you so much for your time today, Karina. It's been an absolute pleasure speaking with you, and I look forward to the journey.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Lovely to meet up today.
Love you too. Bye.
Bye.